We got a wild show for you guys today because today we're going to be discussing Pam and Tommy, a show that I thought probably was going to be some trash fun in the vein of Tiger King. But man, oh man, was I wrong. This show is not just fantastic, it actually gets way deeper than I expected, and we have a lot to talk about. No spoilers, of course, but this show is hitting Hulu very soon. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new series review. Today we're going to be discussing Pam and Tommy. I have seen all 8 episodes. Thank you to Hulu for sending over the entire seasons for me to review. And let me know why you guys need to see this show, because I, again, was very taken back and such a surprise because I was excited for this. You know, I see the cast, I see everyone involved, especially that they got the director of I, Tonya to be a part of the show, especially for a couple episodes. And the entire show very much feels in his vein. But I wasn't expecting for how deep this show actually got into the lives of Pamela and Tommy, and those instances, that is what makes this show so special. Of course, Pam and Tommy, it follows the story of Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee's relationship, going back to their whirlwind romance that started with them marrying after only knowing each other for 96 hours in 1995. A couple years later, of course, a man steals the sex tape of them and leaks it to the world, changing their lives forever. Of course, again, this stars the likes of Lily James, Sebastian Stan, Nick Offerman, and of course, Seth Rogen. Again, lots of pros to this show, and that's kind of where I want to start with this entire overall. Starting with the pros, I gotta give credit where credit is due. They very much go in on this show with the whole sex tape references and everything, from the episodes to, in general, the way that they actually portray certain instances of Pamela and Tommy. There's one instance in here earlier in that I feel like the tones might clash midway through the entire show because they go very crazy. If you haven't seen in the news report, there is a certain actor that was cast as a voice of a certain something, and it's puppeteered, and it is wild and wacky to all belief. And when I saw it, I lost my shit. And as well as the nudity in here, there's going to be some screen grabs for people to just flip out about. I mean, I was sitting there, I was like, holy shit, they're going there. I like that they went there overall. I like these two different tones because the show feels so on a high, as with their relationship and how in love they were. You feel that through the beginning of this show. And then towards the back half, you do feel where those issues started to stem at and how really much they became people towards those back halves. That's what I kind of like, is that the beginning of the show makes them feel like the celebrities that we would know in the background and be like, okay, yeah, that's Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. And it's more from the media, more from our perspective. But the back half of the show really dives a little bit deeper into them, and that's where I was starting to really get sucked into this entire show. Flat out, Lily James should absolutely be the front runner right now. I know we only just started like this season of 2022, but any Emmy nominations, she deserves it. It's not just because of the makeup that absolutely transforms her into Pamela Anderson. You forget that this is Lily James. It's the voice. It's the emotion. There's one episode in particular called Pam's Wonderland. And I was so emotionally invested in this one episode, it made me not just, again, fall back in love with Lily James, but believe that she's Pamela Anderson. Like, oh my god. As well as Sebastian Stan. I've been a pretty big fan of his, but there's sometimes where I feel like he falls back into the same role over and over. And again, here, he transforms into Tommy Lee. You forget that that's Sebastian Stan. Honest to God, this might be some of Seth Rogen's best work yet. Being the man who leaked the sex tape out into the entire world and profited from it because Tommy Lee screwed him over. There's a certain instance to there that I actually feel like was very important, but as well as very dynamic to the entire situation. And when we look at this entire character, there's a lot to him. Why did he do this? Why is he doing this? Does he feel regret? Those are issues that we see throughout the show, and then him dealing with the repercussions of what his choices had done. But again, like I said, it's not just about the sex, it's the actual depth of Pamela and Lee, as well as the guy who's stole the tape. I mean, there's so much to it, and I was just so surprised to see how they really brought that to life. And some of the editing choices that Craig Gillespie very much infused in here. If you like I, Tonya, it's very much going to be told in that same vein. And just like how I, Tonya, when I saw that movie, I was like, do we really need a Tonya Harding movie? And I absolutely loved it. It was my second favorite film of that year. Pam and Tommy kind of has that same vein. Do we really need a story like this? I know Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee did not sign off on this show, which, again, some fans of theirs might be a little bit pissed off about, and I totally understand. But I actually think they did a really good job portraying them, and I actually think the trailer to this, I wish showed a little bit more of that, because the show completely shifts midway through. Before we get to my cons, I do want to say, guys, if you guys are new here, make sure to leave a comment down below on what your guys' thoughts are with Pam and Tommy. Are you excited for the show? Have you already started watching it? Let's discuss it all down there. As well, guys, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep talking movies and TV over here on a daily basis. I'm in the process of making a new set, so do bear with me. It's going to be pretty awesome. Let's moving over to my cons. I only have a couple per se that kind of pulled me out of my experience, and one of them was a little bit of the tonal clashing. While I liked where it started to go and I liked the dynamics, sometimes it was a little bit jarring at moments per se. And I will also say the final episode felt a bit rushed. I actually do think that this show maybe needed one more episode to really further out everything going on. There was a lot of loose ends that kind of tie up in episode 8, and then they added like a couple more, and it felt a little bit too long with the pacing, but as well as not enough. And it's weird how that feels. It's like they rushed through everything, so it felt like it was so much going on, so then it felt long. But then when it ended, I was like, I would have liked at least one more episode to kind of take this last episode and split it in half, because there's a lot of stuff that happens with Pam and Tommy, and there's a lot of stuff that happens with Seth Rogen's character as well. And those are two elements that, again, I just wish they would have doubled down on and maybe gone for 9 episodes. I mean, I'm typically the type that likes just an even number, but I feel like in this category, maybe we should have gone for an odd one. I can't express enough. Pam and Tommy was a giant, delightful surprise to me. It was heartwarming. It was hilarious. It put a giant smile on my face. And overall, Lily James absolutely kills it. Might be her best performance yet. Sebastian Stan is great. Seth Rogen is great. The direction is pretty much damn great as well. And Pam and Tommy is just a great show to watch on TV. Yeah, the nudity's there. Yes, the wild sex antics are there as well. And they're fun, don't get me wrong. But there's something special about this show that really put a smile on my face, and I love the depth they gave to Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. It reminds you that celebrities are human beings too, everybody. They're not just people we see on our TV. So overall, with all that said, I'm going to give Pam and Tommy an A. Thank you once again, guys, for watching this. You guys are really all the best. I can't wait to see your guys' thoughts on this show as it is premiering on Hulu this week. As well, guys, it's going to be a long while, so, you know, if you catch this video later, let me know down below your guys' thoughts. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you're interested in seeing movies, make sure to head on over to Sandwich on Films on how to see those. And, of course, until next time, stay classy.